What's going on, everyone? So, Frank Vogel has been officially fired by the Phoenix Suns. And, look, I don't think Frank Vogel was necessarily the problem. I didn't think Frank Vogel made a lot of sense for Phoenix to begin with because, he's a very specific type of coach. You look at the success he had in, Indiana with us, the Lakers, and you saw him go to Phoenix, and it was like, it's not really the type of roster or team that he would do well in. But I also don't think Phoenix was going to do anything. I said it all season. When they traded for Bradley Beal, people were already like, oh, just give him the trophy. Let's fast forward to the NBA Finals. No one's going to beat Phoenix, blah, blah. What did I keep saying? Phoenix isn't going anywhere. They don't have size. They can't play defense. They don't have true depth. You have to have something, right? I still believe 3 stars can work in the league if they make sense. The Phoenix Suns big 3 made 0 sense. You had 2 guys that are essentially the same player in in Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. They play the same position. They play very similar games. And then you had Kevin Durant, which, okay, he's great. To me, you already had it made. You had Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, but then you got a new owner with new owner syndrome that came in and wanted to make a splash. And he sold the farm for Bradley Beal, and now they're stuck. And I just think it's going to be more of the same. I don't see them all of a sudden magically turning it around when they have no assets, no money to sign any quality free agents, and they're basically the team that they are, right? And now they're probably going to have to look to trade Kevin Durant or Devin Booker. And there's a lot of talks and reports about Devin Booker may being open to a trade. Suns aren't married to him. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But it also looks like the Phoenix Suns are ramping up to bring in Mike Budenholzer. That supposedly, based on reports, Mike Budenholzer is already putting a team together because he's supposed to be the new head coach for the Phoenix Suns. Again, I don't really think this does anything for Phoenix, right? How much better is Mike Budenholzer over Frank Vogel? I think offensively they might be better, a little more efficient, but is he going to be the guy that's going to challenge these players and do it? That was a big problem in Milwaukee, right? He lost Giannis, and it was one of the reasons that he got fired. And then on top of that, he's all the questionable rotations and lineups and not calling timeouts and, not a lack of in-game adjustments. There's just a lot that goes into it that I just don't necessarily see him having major success. Yeah, Phoenix may be better. Let's say they're better offensively and they're a little more efficient on the offensive side of things. I could see that happening with Mike Budenholzer, but I just don't think that they still have all the same issues. They still have all the same flaws. They're still undersized. They still don't play defense. They might be able to score a little better, but look at what's happening to Denver right now. Denver is getting absolutely ran through by the Minnesota Timberwolves because they're just so big and versatile and have so much switchability and play defense. Defense still wins championships, right? But why am I talking about Phoenix when it comes to the Lakers? It's a Laker channel. Well, because our Lakers regime has a lot that they need to get to in this offseason, right? Particularly with the head coach. And you're seeing kind of this narrative right now of coaches bad. And you're seeing a lot of players and stuff kind of come out and talk about how, hey, well, the head coach, it's people, they keep getting the blame. And that's just kind of how it goes, right? The first one you get rid of is the coach, whether that's good or not. But the Lakers are kind of in the same boat as Phoenix. It's Darvin Ham, don't get me wrong, he needed to go. He was not a head coach at a NBA level, in my opinion. Right? A lot of flaws, a lot of issues. That's neither here nor there because he's no longer a Laker now, right? I do think that they need to get a proper head coach, but they have to get this right. And a lot of it too is, again, I said it all season, a lot of it is on the players. You could have the best coach in the history of the league. It means nothing if the players don't show up when you need them to show up. It's not, the coach's fault if they're not executing properly, if LeBron just goes off on his own and does what he wants to do rather than what the coach is drawing up, right? There's so many things that go into a head coach, and a coach can only control what they can control. Dealing with agents and players and front offices, and it's just, there's a lot that goes into head coaching that, especially even behind the scenes, that people aren't aware of. So you need to get somebody that you believe can come in, that in another year or two, we're not looking to hire a new head coach. Phoenix is going to be on their 3rd head coach in 3 years. The Lakers cannot be in that position because you're not going to win anything. You're not going to get anywhere. You need to get some stability in the coaching and player standpoint, right? So the Lakers need to make sure that they're doing their due diligence. And the well is starting to dry up here a little bit, right? You're seeing Mike Budenholzer is likely gone, going to Phoenix. Charles Lee just signed with the Hornets, right? Like all of these things are very, or it just makes it thinner and thinner for the Lakers. Now, there are still plenty of options out there, but that's a head coach that many people wanted to see the Lakers sign, that many people had out there as like, hey, you go. I'm not really big on Mike Budenholzer. I wasn't really sold on Mike Budenholzer. Like I've said it, like I don't think he's a better version of Darvin Ham, an upgraded version, but I don't think he's that much better, right? Like a lot of the reasons he was fired were the same reasons Darvin Ham was just fired. And where do you think Darvin Ham learned how to coach from? Mike Budenholzer. So I'm okay with the Lakers missing out on Bud, and even Charles Lee. Again, Charles Lee, like I did a whole video on As It Stands Lakers about Charles Lee. Go check that out if you want to. But no, it's just you got to figure it out. You got to get it right? Problem is I'm not really sold on any of the former head coaches. Right? Like the only ones that seem like, okay, maybe they could do something, or like a guy like Micah from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Right? Can you get him? He's an assistant. He looks like a real analytic guy. He's had some real success. He's doing a great job coaching up Minnesota, but he's also never really been a head coach. Right? Like all of the coaches that sound good don't really have head coaching experience. Yeah, Micah right now is having some because he's, you have Chris Finch who's out right now, but he's still like there. He's still his safety net. He still gets to turn and talk to him and, hey, what do you think? How do you feel? Like, right? It's not just like, hey, you're the head coach type thing, right? And he is doing a lot of the stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, neutralize what he's doing for Minnesota, but still, it's like there's a lot of questions about that. And then you got like David Edelman, like again, like yeah, he sounds good, but lack of head coaching, right? Kenny Atkinson kind of seems like the only guy that really makes a world of sense right now for the Lakers. As far as like a guy that has experience, otherwise you're taking a flyer on a guy like JJ Redick, which again I don't mind. Like the upside is high if it works. Plus, he's a guy that would have LeBron kind of in his court, right? It'd kind of be like a duo thing rather than like individual. Like, hey, I'm not only going up against the team, but I'm going up against LeBron. But you got to get it right. LeBron's only getting older and closer to retirement. Anthony Davis, he was fantastic last year. I do expect him to continue in that direction, but he's only getting older, and as healthy as everyone was last year, it's like it kind of feels like a big wasted year. You got to start figuring this stuff out. You got to start getting some real structure, which that was the idea with Darvin Ham. I get it. It's why they gave him an extension immediately, because they wanted to create some level of structure. They wanted to have kind of like the head coach of now and the future tied in with the front office and in the players and whatnot, and it didn't work out. But you can't afford to miss again. You just can't. You can't afford to botch this. You have to get this right. You have to get the proper pieces this offseason, whatever approach, whatever direction they decide to end up doing. But I do think that they need to figure this out, right? They really do. They need to figure this out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Frank Vogel being fired by the Phoenix Suns? What are your thoughts on Mike Budenholzer potentially going to the Phoenix Suns? It's not done till it's done, but it's kind of looking that way. Is that somebody that you're like, oh man, we just really missed out on him? It is. It's going to be interesting. But Lakers got to figure this out. And can't afford to drop the ball again. And then now you're going into LeBron's 41 year and year 23 at that. It's just how much success. Like our window is now. You have to get this right now. You cannot afford to botch this and fumble this bag. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers kind of position themselves and how this plays out. But again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I would love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.